Hey, this is Ash from Outlier. John and I are down here in Osaka, Japan, and we thought we'd take a little time away from our business in order to make a little video about character stuff. So one of the things that I see people get wrong a lot is radicals, right? Like what is a radical? What does it mean? When I know something's a radical in a character, what does that tell me? Well, in actuality, the only thing you can rely upon for a radical to do for you is tell you how to look up a character in a dictionary. Now let me give you a couple examples to show what I mean. Most people think that a radical is the semantic component of the character. And when people think that way, a lot of times they think the first job is to look at a character and go, okay, let me find the radical in this character. And they find that radical and they're like, okay, now this other stuff over here, maybe it's a sound component. But actually, this isn't a very good way to look at characters. It's actually deceived native Chinese-speaking Chinese character researchers into doing terrible analyses. And I'll give you an example of that in just a minute. Take the character ju as an example. Ju means to gather, and it's pronounced ju. The top part of the character is pronounced chu, and that is a sound component. The bottom part is composed of three people standing there gathering, right? So that's obviously giving a meaning. So the radical of this character is the ear. It's actually just the top left half or the left half of the sound component. It's not doing anything. It's not giving a meaning. It's not even giving a sound. So there's another example, which is one I alluded to earlier, which is the character Jean. And the character Jean means brocade, or basically it's a material with a design sewn into the material. And so the researchers, they went through their radical finding thought process and like, okay, what's the radical in this character? Oh, it's Jean. So they boxed Jean, they said, oh, this other stuff must be the sound component. And that other stuff is pronounced bo. And they said, look how terrible Chinese sound components are. Bo is not a very good representation of Jean. Well, actually it isn't, but it's also not the sound component. If you look at the character and instead of thinking of this thing as a radical, you first think, well, what does it sound like? It sounds like Jean, which sounds a lot like Jean. And then the other half of the character means silk or material. Now, silk or material is a very good semantic component for brocade, right? So thinking of characters in terms of radicals or radical plus other stuff not only will lead away native Chinese-speaking Chinese character researchers, it'll lead you away too. So don't do it.
If you enjoyed that video, please give us a like and a subscribe. And if you want to learn more about how Chinese characters actually work, check out our free webinar on our 8 top tips to supercharge your Chinese character learning. There's a link down in the description.